What? You expect a Mike Vrabel team to just quit and give up on the season? Come on now. Sports. Welcome to another edition of Bite Size Titans presented by Bite Size Sports. I am your host, James Schmeitz. With me is Darth Vrabel, baby. We did it, folks. We got it done. OT win 27-24 over the Chargers. I was at the game, got a little hairy, got a little nervous. There were plenty of times where I was like, here we go again. This is a repeat of last year. However, it was not. The Tannehill redemption game is real. It happened. We all saw it. Big bounce back game for him. Finished the game 20 of 24, 246 yards, one passing TD, one rushing TD added on a beautiful triple option in the red zone. Tennessee goes 3 of 4 in the red zone. Tannehill ran the one in, and he also threw the one to Nick Westbrook-Akina late in the game to take the lead. So Tannehill, mega bounce back game. He did take 5 sacks. There's a couple in the first half where it seemed like he held the ball a bit too long. However, the numbers speak for themselves. 20 of 24 is immaculate. Going into the Monday night games, he was the highest rated PFF quarterback of the week. I haven't looked that stat up to see if it stayed that way, but I can't imagine anybody on Monday took that from him. I got a stat here I want to pull up real quick. Let me present this, screen share. There we go. We've always known Tannehill was extremely productive on play action passes. He always has been. He's historically stellar at it. It happened again this weekend. 7 of 9 for 168 yards. Averaged 11.8 yards per attempt while using play action since 2022. It's 1.6 more yards than any other quarterback. It's no joke that when the Titans use play action passes, Tannehill is elite. He's the best quarterback in the NFL coming off play action passes. Obviously, play actioning to Derrick Henry helps quite a bit. But the Titans had amazing success this weekend on play action passes. It was key to their win. One of the big keys to their win. I get this removed here. Now, it was a little nerve-wracking there. Tennessee, let me pull up the play chart. It was early. The offense was struggling in the first half. I think Tennessee was down. We were down 10 here. Let me see. So it's down 11-0. And at that point, here in the first quarter, 8:16 left. It was getting a little dicey. The Titans offense hadn't done anything yet. And they dial up a beautiful bomb. A 70-yard pass that I think was in the air for 6.6 seconds. It's the longest airtime pass of the season. I found that stat this weekend. Treylon Burks catches it for a 70-yard game, gets tackled at the 5. The Titans scored 2 plays later. Yeah, 2 rushing plays later. They ran Derrick Henry right in. It was pretty simple what they were going to do from there, but it opened the offense so much after that. Titans they looked like a completely different team. It looked like a lot of frustrations bottled up. They couldn't figure stuff out. They were struggling, penalties, and that play just opened everything up. From then on out, the Titans scored 20. Chargers scored 10 or 13, 20-13. Tennessee wins in overtime. And Tannehill had a lot of great passes. He threaded the needle on. There was one that he threw to Chig that, from my angle in the stands, I thought that was a pick 6, but it went in between 3 guys. It was beautiful. And he had a major play in overtime. In overtime, he had 34 of Tennessee's 37 yards. 34 passing yards of Tennessee's 37 total yards in overtime. He was awesome on Sunday. Like, QB1, give him credit where credit due. He was awesome. Tennessee won because of him. He didn't turn the ball over. Tennessee didn't turn the ball over once. He didn't turn it over at all after the 3 interception game. Took ownership of it, came back, and had an awesome game. He was fantastic on Sunday. And then the play I was talking about, he had a big shotgun rolled right play, found D-Hop for a 14-yard gain to get down to the 23-yard line, kicked the field goal just a few plays later. D-Hop, I thought, we'll talk about him in a little bit. I didn't think he looked fully healthy, but he still had 4 catches for 40 yards. So credit where credit is. Ryan Tannehill was awesome on Sunday. Let's see if I want to make sure I got a bunch of second best single game number of his career. He was 20 of 24 for 83%. That's fantastic. Let's see, is there anything else? Since week 6 of 2019, this comes from Turin Davenport. Since week 6 of 2019, when Tannehill took over from Mariota and became the Titans starting quarterback, he has 11 fourth quarter comeback wins. That's tied for the most with Tom Brady, or tied with Tom Brady for third most among starting quarterbacks over that span behind bite-sized Vikes, Kirk Cousins, and then Travis Patrick Mahomes. But he is a fighter, man. He doesn't quit. Here is, I want to show this. This was the tweet I was talking about, and I assume he finished as number 1. I can't imagine anybody from the Monday games passed him. They weren't any good. As of right now, those 2 games go as the Monday night games. This is Jake Robertson, Glory Day Sports, is the highest graded passing grade in the NFL for week 2 via PFF. So big time jump, big time comeback game for him, especially after he was just awful in week 1 and people were calling for his job. So huge bounce back game for him. Let's go through some offensive stuff here. Let's just take a glance at some stats. I do have the overall. Let's see where I put that. Story of the game, Paul Kahursky tweet. Drives when Tennessee allowed a sack, 26 plays for 27 yards, 5 first downs, no points. When they didn't allow a sack, 39 plays, 333 net yards, 17 first downs, 27 points. Not rocket science. If Tannehill didn't get sacked, they had great drives. Pretty Captain Obvious there, but the skew was pretty big. Massive skew there. He took a couple sacks in the first half where he definitely held on to the ball too long. There was a screen play. He should have just hit the dirt with it. But he was fantastic. So props to Ryan Tannehill. Fantastic. Rushing game. Derrick Henry, 25 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown, just along a 23. I'm hoping a slower start this season and the emergence of Tajay Spears will allow him to be more well-rested at the end of the season, and he'll pick up later. I'm not freaking out on him yet. He's the king. I'm not worried about it, but his numbers are down this year. He did get his first touchdown on Sunday on the 1-yard dive in. Tajay Spears, though, that boy's fun. 8 carries, 49 yards, 6.1 yard average. He just had 2 receptions for 6 yards. He's small. He's sneaky. He slips in and out. He's so small. I don't know. Let's see what he's actually, what is he listed at here? 5'10", 200. So he's pretty small. I don't know if he can ever be a full 3-down back, but man, he's a fun compliment to Derrick Henry. He gets going. He gets up and moving fast. They're a great compliment to each other. Tim Kelly was running plays with them both in the game at the same time, which was a lot of fun. Quite a bit of fun there. So love those two together. Derrick Henry did also have 3 catches for 15 yards, so he also added that. So 141 yards on the ground, so they did have 140, 246 through the air, and it was all over the place. Treylon led the team with 76 yards, 70 of it coming on 1 play, 3 receptions for him. Chris Moore also had a monster bomb, a 49-yard catch that was huge for the Titans scoring in the second half. Big time catch. I mentioned D-Hop had 4 catches for 40 yards. I don't think he was fully healthy. I'm recording this on a Wednesday, and I believe he actually practiced today, which is good. He gutted it out, played. He had his catch. He had a big time 3rd down catch late in the game, and then he had the catch in overtime to set the Titans up for a field goal. So don't think he was fully healthy, but he was good enough on Sunday to help Tennessee win, and I have a lot of faith in him going forward. Chig finally gets involved, 4 catches, 35 yards. I am the biggest hater of Nick Westbrook-Akina, and I'm going to just shut up and eat my words. He was great on Sunday. 3 catches, 25 yards to go ahead touchdown. He blocks. He does what they ask. I think he had the most snaps of any receiver on Tennessee's roster. Credit where credit is due. I will always give that. I always back down. He has been really good for them this year. He's back in his role. He's not at number 2. He's back in that 3-4 role. He fits it perfectly. Tannehill trusts him. Great game for him. And then I mentioned Derrick Henry, 3 catches, 15 yards. Tajay Spears, 2 for 6. Trayvon Wesco had a big drop later in the game. I think it was the 3rd quarter. Again, Tennessee, no fumbles, no interceptions, no turnovers. Titans offense was great. After that 70-yard pass on Sunday, the Titans offense was great. Until that point, a little sketchy. A little sketchy out there, a little nerve-wracking. But they get it done, win in overtime. Defensively, pass defense struggled again. Another 300-yard pass for Justin Herbert, 27 of 41 for 305, 2 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 8 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. They had a fake screen in the red zone on the 5-yard play where he was just wide open in the end zone. It was embarrassingly bad. Mike Williams, 8 for 83. Gerald Everett, 347. So the pass defense is a huge problem. Obviously, on Sunday, they were out without Christian Fulton and Amani Hooker. Trey Avery was attacked relentlessly. There's a lot of stats out there showing they just went at him. I think it looks like this week Fulton and Hooker are going to play, which is great. I didn't know on either of them how long they'd be out for, especially Amani Hooker, the multiple concussions. I figured he'd be at least 2 games, but looks like he's going to be a go. He hasn't cleared protocol, but Rabel said today that he's going to he's probably going to be a go. Fulton did practice today, so they'll both be back. So you'll have your full complement of secondary back. Sean Murphy Bunting was much better this game. And it's just they gotta piece it together. They gotta find ways to improve that pass defense. It's gotta get better for Tennessee to have a chance for any type of deep run. Offense has got to keep coming around. The defensive secondary has got to get better. They got to passing in. They got to be able to stop some quarterback somewhere. Rushing defense elite again. Obviously, Austin Eckler didn't play. So Joshua Kelly gets the majority of the snaps, and it wasn't great. 13 carries, 39 yards. Then another guy, Darius Davis, 1 for 10. So just 61 overall yards on the ground. I think the Titans have now given up, 69, 61, 130, so 65 a game. So Tennessee's rushing defense is elite again this year. Let's look. Sacks here. Big Jeff Simmons had a big one late. Danico Autry got one. Harold Landry had a monster one. I think it was at the end of the game. Huge sack. His first one this season. Big time sack. Made them, if I remember right, it was the one that made them kick a field goal. It was awesome. He's still working his way back, but to see him get a sack was awesome. Tackles, the mayor led the team. Kevin Byard, Trey Avery second. Aziz Al-Shire, 8. McCreary, Molden, your typical guys. So defensively, they did enough to win, but pass defense-wise, Tennessee's got to get better. They got to find a way to get better. Those guys coming back this week will help. Arden Key, not as big a game this week as he had week 1, so a little worrisome there, but hopefully just a one-off, and he'll be back to his terrorizing ways next week. He was quite a bit quieter this week. Special teams, Nick Folk goes 2 for 2, kicks the game-winning field goal. It was awesome. It's so nice for Tennessee to have a kicker where we don't have to worry about it anymore. They actually make their field goals. We don't have to freak out about stuff, so that's awesome. Stonehouse, 5 punts, 306 yards, 61-yard average, one touchback. He's a monster. He was kicking out of his end zone there a lot in the first half, so to have that leg is great. Oh, and Nick Folk won Special Teams Player of the Year week, which is awesome for him, but odd that he got it this week and not last week when he kicked 5 in a row. 5 for 5. Odd thing, but what do I know? I'm just a nobody. Don't know. And offensively, I didn't talk about this. They replaced the starting left guard. I can't remember who they started. I forgot to write it down, but they swapped him out quick and put Dylan Radunes in, and it worked out much better. His first play, he just drove somebody into the dirt rushing. So hopefully he continues to get a little bit better, and as he gets healthier, that'd be a big-time help there. Skoronski out. Appendectomy is out this week as well, so could be maybe next week back for him, maybe the week after. That's kind of a touchy little deal. It's not a terrible thing, like terribly long thing to come back from. I can't think of the words I'm trying to say, but it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get back. So I assume maybe next week, probably 2 weeks is my guess on him, but having Radunes come back and be able to play so quick after tearing his ACL in December is great, and he's only going to get better as time goes on. So offensive line, he was pretty solid. Hubbard at right tackle has been great, and NPF's going to have a challenge. I don't know if Chris Hubbard keeps playing like that, I don't know if he's going to get his spot back, right? Like, just giving it to him. He's got to earn that thing. Hubbard's been really good, which is awesome. Good for him. Brewer was pretty good. Offensive line still not great, not very high, like in the 20s in the league, but compared to the Dennis Daly fiasco of last year, it's 10 million times better, man. It's so much better. It's so much better. And I think they'll still continue to get better, especially when Skoronski comes back. There'll be a lot of competition. NPF will come back and push Hubbard. Maybe he won't. Maybe Hubbard keeps that job. I don't know. But they've been much better this year, and it's a lot. It's not – Tannehill's not getting smoked every single play like he was last year. He did have 5 sacks. They gave up 5 sacks. A couple of them were on him, so still got some work to do. But Tennessee overall, great effort on Sunday in a must-win game. Teams that go 0-2 don't make the playoffs very often. So to see them find a way, fight in a battle of teams that have both lost in week 1 and get a win over a team that I think is superior talent-wise. I think offensively, Justin Herbert's obviously he's a better quarterback than Tannehill. The receivers are better than Tennessee's right now. Obviously, they were without Eckler. Defensively, they're not as good. Joey Bosa is really good, but I think there was a mega coaching mismatch on Sunday too. I think Vrabel is one of the best in the leagues, and I think at the end of the season, Brandon Staley could be in trouble. 0-2, brought in Kellen Moore in the offense. They kept trying to run the ball. Like, just I understand trying to establish it, but just give it up. Tennessee was destroying the run, shutting it down at all times. Just move on. Pass the ball. You're killing them in passing. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams had 16 catches for 194 yards, 2 touchdowns. Justin Herbert over 300. Throw the ball. Attack the defense where they're weakest. Just trying to run the ball just didn't work out. 13 carries, 39 yards from your lead back. Obviously, not having Eckler in there hurt, but still, it's I don't know. They did, like I say, shouldn't run the ball. They only ran it 21 times to 41 passes, but I still think that should have been like 50-10. Like, they should have just abandoned that thing early and moved on. That's my thoughts on that. So there was a mega coaching mismatch. I do want to pull up this stat about Mike Vrabel. Since becoming the Titans head coach in 2018, Titans are 6-2 in overtime games. They're .750 winning percentage in the overtime since 2018, and the best is the NFL best, number 1 in the league with teams at least 6 overtime games. They are number 1 in the league. That's from Jim Wyatt. Titans are stellar in close games. I don't have that stat, but in one-score games and overtime games, the Titans are stellar. They are unbelievable under Vrabel. He's a fantastic coach, and the mismatch was real on Sunday. So glad he was on our team. So that's all I got this week, folks. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Bite Size Titans. Catch me here on our YouTube channel every Thursday on the Bounce too, talking NBA. I'll be back later this week with a second episode, a preview of the Cleveland Brown game. Prayers out to Nick Chubb. Horrific knee injury. He's going to be done for the season. Just awful to see that. You can also catch me on our sister station, Dweeb, talking Star Wars every Wednesday night at 9. We're talking Ahsoka recap right now. That's what I'll be doing in 40 minutes after this. And if you like our coverage, please like, subscribe, retweet. We've got Bite Size Titans, Bite Size Vikes, who are still defeated. Sorry, John. Covering Steelers, Bite Size Colts. Sadly, they won a game. They aren't going to win many. Bite Size Bears. We got a lot of different Bite Size content for sports teams. If you like NFL, we've got a weekly show every Tuesday. Our NBA show is Thursday. We've got fantasy football shows multiple times a week. And we just opened our gambling show on Monday. So there's tons of content for Bite Size. Come join us. Like, subscribe, retweet. It's a lot of fun, folks. Until next time, me and Darth Vrabel here. Just remember, tighten up, baby.